North 15 South Court Northeast. This item, of course, is on the consent agenda, which I'm very fond of, as you all know, being that no one ever knows about it except somebody may be talking about it. I'm talking about this flood remediation work at city facilities, final payment for the amount of $725,000 for Jarvis Construction. Total contract amount is $11,584,880. I guess I'd like to know, somebody let me know. Evidently lost that Jarvis lawsuit that we were fighting, because otherwise I don't know why I'd be paying $725,000 now, when the contract was basically finished May 19th of 2009. We paid them their $700,000 retainage. We paid them $10,589. Now we're going to add another $725,000, which makes the total to $11,584. And my question to you, of course, I've kept track of these flood victims, not flood victims, flood restoration things that we've had by the millions of dollars. And to me, I'd like to know who was the financial people that overlooked this particular contract. I don't know if it's that guy that came from Michigan that charges $600 an hour, got his own business, and he did some sort of financial thing. I haven't looked into that yet, but somebody should be held accountable for this extra $725,000. I mean, we had emergency service weekend of August the 3rd of $600,000, building restoration of the city hall, August the 22nd, $2,225,000, $25,000. On weekends, emergency service, $2,099,725. Who's checking? Anybody? Then, of course, we went to Monastery, went to the police facility, the city hall registry. I mean, that city hall has a lot of money in it. $253,000 on 12/17. But my point is, we ended this May 19th, 2009, and now it is now August of 11. And we're still paying them. I'd like to bring that to the attention of the people of Cedar Rapids, because we're talking so much through all these particular public hearings that we could have got along without a lot of them, or we could at least have 4 meetings a month rather than 2. All this process and policies we go through. And to me, there's a lot here to talk about, but I'm not going to dedicate any more of this council's time, because quite frankly, since no one bothers to answer or to comment, it's a little waste of my time, but I do enjoy getting up here and telling you what it should be or should not be. And Mr. Corbett doesn't seem to mind that too much, because he always shakes my hand. So anyhow, I'd like to have somebody, because I know if the lawsuit's done, it's public information. So I'd just like to know why we had to pay them an additional $700,000, because one time that $2 million one that they had, they didn't even take out the 5% retainage, they took out 20%. Now, you have to wonder why a company is taking out 20% retainage and we're paying them, or taking it out, instead of what we really should have taken out. We took out more than they should have gotten. Leads me to wonder, the taxes may be too high that year or something, we had to pay more out or more in. It's, you look at the figures, they'll tell for yourself. Thank you.
Earlier that we lost, I'd like to have it explained that we won. You know, this lawsuit was filed for an amount substantially more than $725,000. There was mediation services that we went through that established a higher payment than $725,000, and yet when it went to the judge ruled in our favor. We didn't lose, and we were able to settle a bill that was, and Casey, perhaps you can give us the exact amount, that had been challenged at a rate considerably higher than $725,000. So this isn't like we're paying somebody $725,000 extra, as was insinuated. We're settling a debt at an amount much more in our favor than what was challenged.
I think the best way to sum it up is there's no winner or loser. This was I would call it was a negotiated process with the federal magistrate on resolving an issue. They had felt that they were owed a certain amount of money, and we felt that we had paid for those services, and so we met in federal court and kind of worked out a negotiation. So, I guess I hate to try to say there's a winner or loser on this one. This is one of those that was, we agreed to a final number by going through this mediation process, and therefore resolved it before it actually did go to court with the help of the federal judge.
What was the amount?
The difference between what we paid and what Bill DMG owed was right around $1.5 million. That was the difference in our numbers, and I guess we negotiated to a settlement of an additional $725,000.
Sounds to me like we won.
Could I just add, Councilman Schwarr, the work of Mr. Sharanek, our Assistant City Attorney, as well as Mr. Drew and their staffs, was really superb on this, and so it was great to see the teamwork and really work hard to protect the taxpayers' dollars. Mr. Drew, these are actually FEMA reimbursable expenses, correct?
We will attempt to get as much FEMA reimbursable as we're eligible for.
So that's correct. So, someone had asked me, well, why did we go through this process if we would be receiving FEMA dollars? And I think the point is we're trying to make sure that whether these are local tax dollars or federal tax dollars, we're not paying anything more than the city is responsible for. And so it was a great team effort.
Yes, and I certainly commend all the staff that was involved in it, and it's unfortunate that we don't have the opportunity when we're given those sorts of questions, Your Honor. We ought to answer them immediately, but that's okay. We did it this way.
You move adoption of 25E?
I sure do.
And moved by Schwarr, seconded by Winke. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion carries. That brings us to 39H. 39H. Justin, you asked to have that removed from the consent agenda?
I would like to have an explanation of what 39H actually means.
You're in order, Dave.
Mayor and City Council, for consideration, this is an agreement with the Iowa Department of Transportation for maintenance and repair of primary roads within the jurisdictional limits of the city of Cedar Rapids. This agreement form is proposed by the Iowa DOT to transfer their responsibility for maintenance of the primary road system within our jurisdiction to our maintenance responsibility by a 2080 agreement. And in exchange for us accepting that responsibility, they reimburse the city for those maintenance activities on those primary roads on an annual basis.
So we maintain the roads in question, but they reimburse them if we have any expense maintaining them.
That's correct.
So when I talked to you about the road situation on 151 and the Edgewood Road, where you make that curve going on to Williams Boulevard, are you familiar where I mean? I'm on Edgewood Road. I'm turning on to Williams Boulevard or 151.
Yes.
There's been a breakup in that highway right in that curve or right at the end of the curve for, God, 2 years at least. And I was told it was the state's responsibility to fix it. So I keep waiting for the state someday to get that repaired. And is this a new agreement, or are we just renewing an old agreement?
This is a new 5-year agreement that will take the place of a prior agreement that was very similar.
Okay, so I'll just use this opportunity to tell you one more time that you need to look at that road and see if we can't get that repaired, since it's the city's responsibility. And you'll get reimbursed, as I understood it.
We'll pursue that with the DOT and get that taken care of.